The Rangers do it again. This time, they beat the Nashville Predators 7-0. And the remarkable part is that they scored 6 goals in the first period. Yes, 6 in the first. And they really scored. They scored 4 goals in less than 3 minutes, which is insane. They had 5 goals in the first 10 minutes of the period. Keandre Miller had 2 goals and 2 assists. He is the first Ranger defenseman in team history to record 4 points in a period. Jaroslav Halak gets a shutout. The Rangers' shutout streak continues. There's a lot of stats to pull out of this game. The Rangers, dating back to the Pittsburgh game, have scored 15 straight goals without allowing a goal. So they scored the last 2 goals of the first Penguin game, then 6 more last night, and then 7 tonight versus Nashville. I'll say this about the Predators, and again, as I said in the last episode, that this was kind of this could be a demoralized team. There's that, plus this roster was completely unrecognizable. And just first things first, in net to start was Kevin Lankinen. And it was so bad for Lankinen that they had to bring in the starter, UC Saros. It was Lankinen allowed 4 goals on 5 shots. So Saros came in, but this was a team that was without basically everyone. No Roman Josi, no Philip Forsberg, no Ryan Johansson, no Ryan McDonough. The list goes on and on and on. It was, like I said, a roster that you really just could not recognize. And so Nashville, not to take anything away from the Rangers, because it was really impressive after they could have kind of, after what was a pretty high-spirited win the night before, look, they could have kind of taken their foot off the gas. They didn't. With that being said, Jaroslav Halak gets the shutout, and he made good saves in the first period before the Rangers got going. So the Rangers, before they really got into their game. Now, obviously, there was an early goal for the Rangers, but when they were up 1-0, Nashville had chances, and Halak was up to the task. So Jaro Halak, while there's been a couple of speed bumps lately, like overall since his bad start, ever since he first got it going, Halak has been really, really solid, and just exactly the type of backup that you're looking for. He knows his role, and he's really done a nice job. The numbers are solid. They're not spectacular, but again, if you cookie cutter it out and take out the first whatever it was, 6, 7, 8 starts, from there it's really been excellent. And so Halak gets the shutout, only made 22 saves, but gets the shutout nonetheless. And he even got an assist as well. The Rangers lineup was the same again, and Ryan Lindgren was out for, I believe, his 11th straight game. It does sound like he actually will be back next game versus Carolina. It actually, now I would truly, truly be surprised if we don't see him versus the Hurricanes. And like I said all along, it's not that I have any problem with him not playing, because, look, the Rangers are in a position where there's just not a whole lot of, certainly no one's going to catch them. And just movement up the standings, they're still 5 points behind the Devils after tonight's results. So, totally fine, but it'll be nice to have Lindgren back if he does come back for these 2 upcoming games with Carolina. I'm very excited for this home and home with the Hurricanes. That could be a potential playoff preview, especially if the Rangers do well in these games. So let's talk about this one. And again, a near historic first period for the Rangers. And it starts out with Philip Hedl finally getting his 20th goal of the season. It had been over a month. February 8th was the last time that he scored. He scored, that was against Vancouver, when, that was a long time ago. And Hedl finally gets it, and it was a beautiful goal. I mean, it was a nice way to get number 20. It was kind of an end-to-end sort of situation, just a nice individual effort. And Hedl gets that 20th goal. The assists go to Keandre Miller and Halak. So Halak gets his first assist of the season, and, Hedl really did it all. So, but, remember that Keandre Miller gets an assist there, because that comes into play by the end of this period. Then, Halak really does a nice job and makes some pretty good saves. But then the Rangers make it 2-0. And it's another early first period goal for Mika Zibanejad, who's been on just a scoring tear lately. It's Zibanejad's 37th goal of the season. And it was a great pass by Artemi Panarin. And like I said, that chemistry is building between them. And so Panarin sets up and opens Zibanejad, and he makes it 2-0 Rangers at that point. Less than a minute after, the fourth line scores. It's Tyler Mott. Tyler Mott scores his 5th goal of the season, his second as a Ranger, second with the Rangers. And the assists go to Trouba and Miller. So, I mean, that Trouba-Miller pair has really, I mean, it's been a lot better lately. And statistically, it's been kind of crazy. I mean, they've had some gaudy plus-minus numbers to kind of make up for what wasn't really, those plus-minuses weren't all that good. And Trouba's been putting up points, Miller as well. So give Miller now 2 assists on the period. And I just want to see something. Yeah, I mean, now Trouba is at +4, which is something, considering that he was really, minus, pretty substantially minus for a while. Let's see, Keandre is +12, which is just insane, really, because again, he was kind of not minus, but kind of around even, maybe a little bit above that. So it's 3-0 Rangers there. Then at 8:30, Tyson Barrie hooks Trocheck, but 25 seconds into that power play, Patrick Kane is called for goalie interference, and so it's 4-on-4, and the Rangers score immediately on that 4-on-4. So at 9:09, less than a minute again after the previous goal by Mott, it's Keandre Miller. A nice setup by Trocheck. So Trocheck gets an assist, and Panarin gets the other. So now give Panarin 2 assists at that point, and now Miller has 3 points. But there'd be more. So at 10:01, after there's a too many men on the ice penalty on Nashville at 9:48, it's 4-on-3. And on that 4-on-3, Panarin scores his 23rd goal of the season from Fox and Zibanejad. So Panarin with 3 points on the period, and Panarin he's been shooting more lately, shooting more on the power play, and so the Rangers make it 5-0. And I should mention that after that 4th goal by Miller is when Lankinen was pulled, so Saros comes right in and gives up a goal to Panarin. And then at 13:36, Keandre Miller does it again. Miller scores. It's assists go to Kakko and Goodrow at 13:36. The Rangers make it 6-0. Just straight up ridiculous. And so that's Miller's 8th goal in the season, 2nd goal in the night, 4th point of the period. Just bonkers stuff. And the Rangers would lead 6-0 after the first. And I figured that from there, things would lighten up. And they did. They really did. There was only one more goal the rest of the game. So we go to the second period, and Trocheck, he trips Tommy Novak at 5:35. Nashville gets a power play. Rangers call it off. And then it would be another goal for the Rangers as Chris Kreider makes it 7-0. And so Kreider's been on a scoring binge as well lately. That's Kreider's 32nd goal of the season, assisted by Trocheck and Trouba. And Vinny Trocheck, I think the stat is 23 points in his last 20 games. So Trocheck has really, really been good as well. I'm happy that he's really, really improved from where he kind of was in the middle of the season. So, now 19 goals, 38 assists, good for 57 points. I mean, that's a really... that's really good for Trocheck, who last year, and look, he's in a much different situation, but with Carolina last year, he had 51 points in basically a full season's worth of games. And already he's at 57 in 70 games. So he's really done a nice job. And this isn't just power play stuff. This is also even strength. He's really a good distributor, but he can also score goals too. And so the Rangers take a 7-0 lead. And the Rangers would have a couple of power plays. Tyson Barrie holds Patrick Kane at 9:19. Power play doesn't score. Then at 19:39, Cole Smith interferes with Mika Zibanejad. That carries into the third period. No scoring. And the third period was kind of ho-hum. It's the final score of 7-0. And Halak gets that shutout, which is great. And the Rangers continue their streak of not allowing any goals. It's pretty amazing. And again, as I said with the last game, it's nice because the allocation of minutes is really completely even. So let's take a look again. The player with the least time on ice, it was close. It was actually Goodrow. I guess the fourth line all was around 1250 to 1256. And the highest was Zibanejad at 1735. And, that was really special teams aided. Because the Rangers had a decent amount of power plays, and he had the most shorthanded time among penalty killers for forwards. And then defensively, it's even more noticeable where Adam Fox actually had the second least amount of ice time. You'll never see that among the 6 defensemen. I guess the Mikkola Fox pair played the least. over at least time on ice overall. So really, what stands out to me here is that the Harper Schneider pair played a lot more than they normally do, and they did fine. Harper, the former Nashville Predator, but yeah, Rangers win 7-0. I mean, they outshoot Nashville 34-22. This was really men versus boys in this game as Nashville's playoff hopes continue to dwindle. And they have a playoff streak. I think they've made the playoffs, 8 straight years. So that might come to an end, especially really more so because of all these injuries that they have. It's really crazy how they just got no one in that lineup. So now we shift our attention to the next couple of games. And it's a home and home against Carolina. The Rangers have beaten Carolina twice this season. And these are the last 2 games. And as far as where the Rangers stack up with the Hurricanes in the standings, they are 6 points behind Carolina, and Carolina has 2 games in hand. If the Rangers want to have any chance of catching Carolina, that's going to involve them winning both games, which would be a season sweep. And there's many reasons why I want the Rangers to win, because again, I still would rather play Carolina than the Devils. And so by the Rangers beating Carolina, A, it kind of reinforces the idea that, all right, the Rangers match up well with Carolina, and B, it pushes them down and potentially moves New Jersey up. But as we speak, New Jersey is 1 point behind Carolina, and Carolina has 2 games in hand. So the Rangers can play a role here. And I guess on the flip side, I guess if the Rangers do lose these games against Carolina, then maybe it does make you sort of rethink it, and then maybe it's not so bad that you're playing the Devils. So, I mean, I guess you could kind of take it positive either way, but it's crazy. The Rangers' goal differential now is all of a sudden all the way up to plus 48. So that's just crazy. And what's good, too, is that the Rangers at home have been a lot better lately. Their home record is now 21-11-4, which is, I mean, if you remember, early in the season, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So still, the road record is still better, but it kind of now looks more similar. On the road, the Rangers are 28-6, and at home, like I said, 21-11-4. So now that's 4 wins in a row for the Rangers, 6-0-1 in their last 7 games. And, this will be fun. These next couple of games against Carolina are going to be, I would guess that the intensity levels will be high. Look, it's going to be an angry Carolina team because, look, the Rangers have just had their number lately, if you want to date it back to the playoffs and this season. And Carolina definitely wants to win this division because you would rather face one of the wild card teams than the Rangers. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy there. So for Carolina, there's a lot of motivation to win these games. And so that's why these Carolina games are probably about as excited as I've been for Ranger games in quite some time. So I hope that it has a playoff feel to it. The first game will be an MSG on Tuesday, and then they'll go to Carolina on Thursday. And I would expect Shesterkin to be in net for both games. And of course, it sounds like Ryan Lindgren will be back. So we'll see what happens. But the Rangers continue to play really, really well. They are 41-19-10 on the season. And just crazy, they score 6 goals tonight in the first period against Nashville. And they have a combined score of the last 2 nights. Last 2 nights, not even games, last 2 nights, like crazy stuff, of a combined score of 13-0. The Rangers are really, really clicking on all cylinders right now.